Long ago, on the outskirts of the quiet village of Black Hollow, there stood a grand Victorian house, forgotten by time. Locals whispered of eerie voices that echoed from its walls at night, a house that seemed to breathe with life. Legend had it that the house once belonged to the enigmatic Eliza Morn, a reclusive widow with piercing green eyes and long raven black hair who dabbled in forbidden rituals until her mysterious death. One stormy night, Eliza performed a final ritual that unleashed an entity into the house's walls. From that night onward, the house whispered secrets no one dared to hear. After her death, villagers swore they heard hushed voices calling their names as they walked past the house. Few dared to enter, and those who did spoke of whispers growing louder, more demanding. Years later, in the present day, a group of teenagers dared each other to step inside. Among them was Nora, a bold young woman with fiery red hair, and her cautious friend, Adam, a bespectacled boy with shaggy brown hair. As the door creaked open, a cold breeze greeted them. The house's interior was dim, with rotting floorboards and an air thick with decay. The whispers began faintly, like a distant sigh. Nora's flashlight illuminated a faded portrait of Eliza Morn. Her piercing green eyes seemed to follow them, and the whispers grew louder, clearer, as though welcoming them. "You should not be here," the whispers said, startling Adam. The voice sounded as though it came from the walls themselves, cold and emotionless. At the end of a long corridor, a heavy oak door stood locked. The whispers urged them to leave, but curiosity outweighed caution. Adam stumbled upon a key hidden in an old book on a nearby desk. The whispers grew excited, almost gleeful, as if they wanted the door opened. The door creaked open, revealing stairs descending into a pitch-black cellar. A foul stench wafted up, and the whispers turned into eerie laughter. At the center of the cellar lay a weathered, leather-bound book surrounded by burnt candles. The whispers chanted in unison, as if urging them to read it. Nora opened the book, revealing pages filled with symbols that seemed to shift and writhe on their own. As she read aloud a few words, the whispers erupted into screams, and the cellar grew colder, the air thick with unseen energy. A deafening thud shook the house, and the shadows in the cellar began to move, forming twisted shapes with glowing eyes. The whispers turned into chilling laughter, and the teens knew they had awakened something they couldn't contain. Panicked, Nora and Adam bolted up the stairs, slamming the door shut behind them. But the house seemed alive now. Doors slammed on their own, and the walls pulsed as if breathing. As they ran through the house, the portrait of Eliza seemed to change. Her painted lips twisted into a sinister smile, and her eyes followed their every move. The walls began to crack open, revealing fleshy, pulsating surfaces underneath. The whispers turned into distorted voices, calling the teens' names in mocking tones. Every door they tried to open led back to the same room. They were trapped, and the house's laughter grew louder, reverberating through the air like a mocking taunt. In the corner of the room, a cracked mirror shimmered. In its reflection, they saw themselves, but distorted, older, and terrified, as though it showed their fate if they didn't escape. From the mirror came a voice, soft and melodic, yet chilling. It was Eliza. "You've read my book. Now you belong to the house. Unless..." Her voice trailed off with a sinister chuckle. Eliza offered a deal. Complete her ritual, and the house might let them go. Refuse, and they'd join the countless souls trapped within its walls forever. Desperate, the teens agreed. The whispers guided them back to the cellar, where the ritual's tools, a dagger and a vial of dark liquid, awaited them. Nora recited the words from the book, her voice shaking. Shadows danced wildly around them, and the air grew heavier, pressing against their lungs. The house shuddered violently as an entity emerged from the shadows. A grotesque, many-limbed creature with a face that shifted between Eliza's and something monstrous. The entity roared, demanding payment for disturbing its slumber. The whispers now screamed in unison, filling the teens with unbearable dread. The house itself seemed enraged. Furniture flew through the air, and the walls trembled as if alive. The entity reached for Nora, its shifting face snarling, but Adam tackled her out of its grasp. Nora, trembling, grasped the dagger and struck the entity's shadowy form. It let out a deafening wail as its shape flickered like a dying flame, momentarily retreating. The whispers shifted tone, urging them to destroy the book. Nora and Adam realized the book was the source of the house's power, and its curse. The entity, weakened but still formidable, hissed a warning. "Destroy me, and the house will take you instead. Your fate is sealed either way." As the house shook violently, shadows began to climb up their legs, pulling them toward the center of the ritual circle. Time was running out. With a surge of defiance, Nora hurled the book into the ritual fire that had sprung to life in the circle's center. The whispers turned into agonized screams. The house groaned and shuddered, its walls splitting open as if it were alive and in agony. The entity writhed, its form growing unstable and translucent. The house began to cave in on itself, pulling everything, including the entity, into a swirling vortex of darkness. Nora and Adam sprinted toward the exit, dodging falling debris. Nora and Adam stumbled out into the moonlit night just as the house imploded behind them, leaving only a smoking crater where it once stood. As they caught their breath, the wind carried a faint whisper, "You can't escape me." The sound sent a shiver down their spines. Looking down, Nora noticed a faint symbol burned into her palm, the same one that had adorned the book's cover. It pulsed faintly with a sinister glow. The teens walked back to town, the weight of the night's events pressing heavily on their shoulders. The town lights in the distance seemed like a distant dream. In the town, a curious stranger approached them, his piercing gray eyes scanning them with unnerving intensity. "You've been to the Morn House, haven't you?" he asked with a knowing smirk. The stranger warned them that their ordeal wasn't over. The house may have been destroyed, but its curse lingered, and it would find them again. As they turned to leave, the wind carried one last whisper, "See you soon." The teens froze, realizing their nightmare had only just begun.